not strong enough, but I ain't never giving up. And I'll leave this future behind me. Na 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 na. I'll keep going, nothing can stop me. Na 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 na.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Truth Be Told on a very shaky and shitty webcam. Sorry for this episode. We have a happy Easter for everyone, and I had Easter obligations in the morning, so I'm currently camping out, offset, as it were, but we still got plenty of good show for you tonight. So I'm going to bring on my guest because we have a special fun thing that we're going to start with, after we had sorted out the technical difficulties. I've got something that I think would be great to start the show off. So we're going to bring on our guest first. So we got, of course, Platinum Sparkles. How are you doing? Oh man, it cuts me off when I brought you on. Hopefully we don't get too much feedback on the audio here. Then we've got, of course, that girl Trader. And then Joey, how you doing?
It made you say that platinum was a thought, and I just about choked. Like, it cut you off.
Cut me off.
Oh my god.
Oh, where's the trench coat? Oh dear. It's true.
No, no.
I lost it. It blew away in the wind. You know how Kansas is. So while I'm still getting things kind of set up as to the topics we're going to talk tonight, I think we should open up with the funniest episode of this so far, what we, I believe, called Larch 2.0.
Oh god.
I think Amy can take over from here on this. She was you too, Platinum. You were in on this, right?
I mean, maybe.
She was barely in on it, but she was in on it.
Yeah.
She did have one of the funniest jokes in the chat that none of us got when she first said it, but afterwards we had a great big laugh.
Yeah, so why don't you lead with that? I know you had a big scrolling feed thing when they were drip feeding it, so maybe you can go through the background on it, and then you can show some of the screen caps.
Okay, so it started. I don't know, Plaid. Do you want to? I mean, I have it on. You can go to my. I put it on my feed, but so this account, what was it? Not SEC agent, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. But they were DMing.
Something dead obvious. That's all we need to know, really, right?
They were DMing I think they DM'd Cracks first. I can't remember who else, but it was like that meme of Steve Buscemi where he's like, "Hey, fellow kids." He was like DM and be like, "Hey, I'm one of you guys," da 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 da. So he DM'd.
He said he was your alt, by the way.
Algo, correct. He DM'd Algo. And
Noisy, your alt. He said he was you.
He said he was you. But so
everyone knows I'm not on X anymore.
Yeah. Well, we certainly do. But so he's asking Algo who his boss is and who do you work for or whatever, and Algo's feeding him some shit. And then then the guy was like, who is this or whatever, and he was like, Corax.
I'm Corax's alt, he said.
No, he just said Corax, right?
Oh,
he did.
Well.
Yeah, he just said Corax. And so in another chat, Algo was like, this guy's saying that he's, I don't want to say your real name, but that. And I said, no way. He's not on Twitter or whatever. And Algo was like, I know. And he was like, I'm going to ask him something about the show on Saturday. I was like, no, ask him about the show on Sunday and see if he can, let's fuck with him and see if he can hang. And then Algo was like, we should make a fake group chat of what they think we are and talk like they think we would talk. And so that's what we did.
I didn't know any of this.
Right. So Dolphin
Yeah, I got invited to this group chat randomly, and I was like, okay, another group chat. I was like, all right, mute, first of all, because I'm too many notifications.
Platt, pull up because it's better visually. Platt, can you pull up, I posted it. Will you pull that up and so that I can?
There's a buzzing sound coming from Joey, from our rubbing my axe.
Sure,
I hear it too.
Well, I have it muted, so it can't be feedback.
I think it's Joey. Because he was.
My microphone just came on. It's been off this entire time.
Is it me?
No.
It's not me. Or here, I can pull up the thing. Let's see.
So I get invited to this group chat and I see like
Mhm.
people talking about random stuff. And then I saw the other group chat
Mhm.
talking about Jen and being
Mhm.
like, oh no, Jen, like she doesn't know. And then I saw you guys explain it to Jen. And
Well, so I
that's
was
when
seeing her
realized what was
typing.
going on.
Yeah. So I was seeing her typing in the group chat, in the other group chat, and in our actual chat. I was like, "Fuck, Jen's typing. She's gonna mess this up." Here, send you this, or I'm gonna share this.
Do you hear the
Do you think
buzzing?
it's gonna mess
Yes.
up if I share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
I'm gonna share my screen. All right, here you go.
Okay, I'll pull it over. Okay,
Okay.
Okay, so zoom into that.
awesome. So
Yeah, hold
you're
on,
going to need
hold
to
on.
freeze it
Too
and then
fast.
enlarge
Too
that so
fast.
that way we.
I will. Okay. So
So make it like detach
will.
it.
Detach. What do you mean detach it?
Like see the button
This?
or see the big one, or yeah, or the other one. Make it big, the one next to it, to the right of it.
Oh, full
yeah,
screen.
that one.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
So
Okay, so this is from my point of view because I took
Right.
this.
So but here's the funny part. So we're like, we should make a fake group chat, right? So you see, Dolphin made the chat, and he added
Me
like
and then
a
6
lot
other
of people, right? 6 other people.
Jennifer.
Then Jennifer, then Bob, then Bull, then Bailey, and Ventura Capital. And so Algo starts, and he's like, "That's what I've been saying, same as always. Anyway, tell her not to worry. I'm gonna add Sonny Korax on his alt." So that's the start of it. So then right
So
after
he
that,
added
look on the
the
screen.
not SEC agent.
Yes, Algo added not SEC agent.
Corax, that's you, by the way, just so you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I
then-
didn't know anything about this till now, but
Now you know.
apparently I've been just ghostwriting this account.
So then we start, and Ocelot's like, we got to get more lunch at the brewery soon. One of the best IPAs. Algo's talking about how he's in Logan. So on and
For
so
the
we're just-
DTCC meeting.
For the DTCC meeting.
It's like so over the top and stupid.
It is. It's so dumb. But he goes, and then Ocelot's like, "Oh wow, thanks. I'll have to get it next time I fly into Logan. Been mostly at a Teeterbird lately, though." So he was. So I guess everyone who has to go talk to the SEC or anything like that, Teterboro is like a private, like it's a very small airport in New Jersey, like across the Hudson from New York, and everybody flies their private jets into Teterboro and then goes over and does whatever they have to do with the SEC, or like something like that. So he said he's been in and out of Teterboro lately. Then I was talking about blah, 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 blah. And then here comes Raccoon. She's like, I'm already on probation on a PIP. It goes on for this, like, for a while.
Yeah.
This is 3 minutes. So then this is actually true. I am actually reading a book where someone's named Malort. And I said we should get a bottle and bring it to the next meetup. Puzzled's like, I'm glad you volunteered to go on the advisory council. I'm so sick of having to leave the dogs at the sitter. So we go on and on for a while. And then
yeah, and I saw these messages and I was like, these people we're all just fucking cooked. I
So
didn't really think twice about it.
Here's the funny part. So Jen chimes in. Here's where Jen chimes in.
This is when I finally
We're talking
realized
about
what was
Baby.
going on.
So Jen chimes in and says, if I was paid by Virtue, I would be proud. LOL. I would be a broker with 5 mansions hanging poolside. And I was like, shit. She didn't look at this other chat to see what we're doing. So I tag her and I'm like, I'm like, read here, scroll up. So she starts scrolling up, so I'm trying to cover for her in this chat. And so I say, this is the best part right here. You just started. Internship will be over in a few months. Everyone starts somewhere. And they got real hung up on this. And like, I was dying laughing. But anyway, then Ocelot's like, comment on this, blah, 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 blah. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. And then Platt lets us know that Jake has a space.
Oh no, someone else said that, but then I put it in when it was going to start.
Mm-hmm. So then we just talk like shills like the whole time. And in the other chat, like at one point, like I can go through I posted the screenshots of our actual chat talking about it because like they're like, calm down, it's gonna be too obvious, it's gonna be too obvious. And I was like, it's me, I'm too excited. Anyway, where's what was that? Pulling the U3 halt lever, like slot machine. I don't know. We said all kinds of crazy shit.
I love that this whole time that this whole thing is scrolling by, not once has the supposed me talked. It's
not
like
yet.
If it
Not
was
yet.
me,
Right.
I wouldn't be just sitting there.
But he was
working.
taking.
But he was.
screenshots.
Yeah, he was taking screenshots this whole time, which we kind of knew. So then, so then he does. There he is. That's his first chime in right here. It's honestly sad and wait, where did he say? Here, let me go back. So then he finally chimes in, and in the other chat, I'm like, he speaks, because like the first he was quiet for a couple days, right, Platt? I can't remember how long.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's Platt. So
do you know what FFH is, Corax?
Nobody knew what it was, but none of us wanted to ask because we were gonna give it
go
away.
up and see what you guys are talking about.
This is where Dolphin chimed in and said that he got a call. Where is it?
Yeah, everybody was talking about where they were working for the day. Like, just so stupid. And so I said that I was FFH today because I was putting from home.
That was the next morning. No. You started the conversation because look, Algo's last message was 11:54.
Oh yeah, 11:54.
So you started the conversation that day saying I'm FFH
when I
today.
actually like started like WFH that day.
Yes. So she started the conversation that morning with I'm FFH. None of us knew what it meant.
It's because
she told
it's
us
so
after
stupid.
It's fudding from home.
I wanted somebody to ask me so bad.
Well, yeah, we couldn't ask you in there. We're supposed to know what it means. But anyway, so nobody wanted to ask what it meant. So she said I'm fudding from home today. And then Raccoon, so Busy Brands from MMTLP.
Yeah, see, 9:06 a.m. That's like legit when I actually clocked in.
Yeah. Like docs this poor woman from Schwab. And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
saying it was puzzled just because they had the same first name.
So Puzzled says, I got to go to Charlotte today, which is where Schwab is. Y'all getting Rico.
Ricola.
She says, I got the call yesterday morning, driving now, two-day meetings this afternoon, tomorrow. And then because Dolphin deactivated that account, you don't see his. He says first before she does that he got a call and he has to go. So she says, see you there. And then I say, I'll be there via Teams. It's good news, guys. Okay, and then I tell Bull the Butcher, like this is our
there. That way we're not blocking the text.
This is where we're
going by.
We're strategizing, right? Or this is where like we're getting to work. So I tell Bull the Butcher,
we're giving them what they want to see. Mm-hmm. Like we are providing the entertainment.
So I said, I got a
shill chat that they've always wanted to see.
So I said, got a pretty solid recruit, not far from you. May need you to do a little schmoozing next week and bring it home. Poor guy had BBBYQ and MMTLP. And I said he reached out on Sunday, and Bill says, "Oh my!" So then Jake has this space about GME where they proceed to talk about them. Are they saying that they're naked shorting through XRT, or just that they're using XRT to short GME?
Both, I think.
One of the two, which is really ridiculous. Why would you short
literally the dumbest take on GME? I was completely right when I said that.
to short an individual stock. But anyway, so he has this space, and so we're talking. They're secret millionaires. And then Jake says something like when he's talking, he's like, I just want to make sure everybody understands that I don't talk to Ryan Cohen or the board. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, Jake, you're literally no one. Anyway, so we can talk about that for a while. What else has happening in here, Chad? I forgot.
Oh yeah, that's the amount of shares in XRT.
Yeah, the amount of shares that are in XRT, which
it's like
is
300,000.
300,000.
That matters at all. And Amy can't even understand. She's like, "Is it a short ETF?"
Yeah, I'm like, because I've never actually looked at it. Like, I don't care.
XRT is just a crypto token, right? That they think that.
No, that's XRP.
No, it's a
XRP
retail ETF.
It's a retail ETF, but it's like it's long, right? It's just like and it's
right.
it's
and it gets short.
Yeah,
right, it gets shorted.
Oh, you mean the retail, the S&P
the retail
500
ETF?
Retail
Yeah. The retail ETF,
the sector select ETF. Okay,
right, and it's an.
You know, I've been reading this the entire time, and I did not even realize it just says shill chat.
Well, I read it called Fort Braggies.
It did say Fort Braggies, yeah.
Because this stemming from when they believed that Platt was some military psyop,
which again should have been another tip off, because that was another time we trolled them.
Yeah, where's the part? Oh, it's in the beginning, I think, when I said I'll run it through the software this weekend.
The Ryan Cohen tweets or something, to see.
The Ryan Cohen tweets. I'll run it through the software to decode it, is what I said, or something. It's all so ridiculous. And if I was watching this happen, I would be like, "What the fuck is this?" But
yeah, I'd be like, "Wow, those are pretty dumb."
Oh my god! They literally thought that they had been let into.
This is how desperately they need what they believe to be correct. That they will believe literal made up bullshit.
Yeah. So I'm like, is it a short ETF? Never looked. And Platt's like, no, it's a retail ETF. Get shorted to hedge long positions, of course, obviously. And I was like, so it's just
she was trying to make
retail index funds. Yeah, I was actually trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
but yeah. So then let's see that's just talking about how they do it. Was there anything else left funny in here, chat? Platinum.
Probably the end.
No, because then everybody started leaving. So here's where it happens. Okay, so
why did everyone leave though? I don't even know what happened.
Puzzle left all the group chats, right? Because
okay, I didn't even know this. I didn't know that.
She doesn't like group chats, which is fine. And then
I don't blame her.
And then Algo left. Then Dolphin just deactivated. I think he just needed a break. And then I hadn't been in there in days. I don't even remember. And I remembered I was like, let me look in on this stupid chat. So when I came in, I saw that these three left. And this guy was, the not SEC agent, what had posted. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like they're waiting for me to leave. And so I was like, I'm going to leave. And I bet this explodes. It was only a couple hours later, Blatt, that all of a sudden Sears starts posting.
Yeah.
And that's when it all happened. That's when
they think you're the super secret agents. They need you to not know, even though they were going to drop the make sense.
Yeah. So then Bob's like, the space is getting rugged. And he's like, what do you mean? Everybody leaving? He's like, yeah, I don't know why. This was right. I don't know what time Sears' tweet was. We can go look it up. But the last thing is a
this grok.
The grok thing, and then
Sears is at the end of there.
Something about Sears, yeah.
And he's like, I lied about being Clorox. And he's like, you guys probably need this.
Yeah, because we didn't know that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And also, you think we're going to jail? Where does he talk about the last thing that's on here? Okay, what do y'all think about Sears? That's the last thing.
That's the last message. How sad.
And then Sears, the Sears Reloaded or Sears Revenge, whatever his account is called, started posting everything. And then we all started a space and we're dying laughing. He was definitely listening, because anytime I would mention a part in the chat, because we were just recalling the chat and laughing and having fun. And anytime I would mention a part in the chat, Sears would post that part. So he was definitely listening to us celebrating. And he's like, look at them. They're damage control. They're full damage control mode. And the RICO case against them is going to be so big. And we got him.
That was the next big thing. He said he was going to go to the SEC with all this, right? Or something like that. And you called him out.
I mean, I think he said that
they were DMing DOGE immediately.
Oh yeah. All of the agencies have it. Every single one
FBI.
of every single one of the baggy
RICO.
groups they're, we got you. Like
George
Oh my God.
Calacaris.
Yeah. And Sears
George
was like,
retweeted all of that.
yes.
Mm.
Well,
I knew
he
had
didn't
a big
retweet it.
shitstorm.
He thanked him. He thanked Sears for it. He didn't actually retweet that.
He said,
But so-
bless you.
God bless you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Sears was like drip feeding them parts of the chat. And so I was like, here. And Platt like screen recorded the whole thing. And I was like, here's the whole chat. And that way you don't have to like
Yeah, because the whole thing is way funnier than just like
live
little
off of
portions
Sears
of it.
drip feeding you this for his engagement. Like here's the chat.
Like, this is the third time they've been rugged by us. First, it was the
More than
Larch
that.
thing. Then it was the Fort Bragg stuff. And then this, it's like you would think at some point, they realize.
No. And like,
Never.
like you could say you're anyone on Twitter and he says he's Corax. Like,
Right. Like as if we don't talk to you like ever.
like that, like you're you're every week guests and people
Which
you're
shows
actually friends
like
with
how
wouldn't
rent-free
know.
we live in their head. The fact that I haven't
Like
been
we
on
wouldn't
X in,
know
like, months.
that's an alt account. Like you're so stupid. Like you're not even good at this. Like and then Sears is like, I can't believe we got into the shill chat. We're just dying.
Did you
We're dying.
like? You should show Sears's tweet. It got like what 900 likes or
I
something.
can't
Like
hear. Let's see.
The shill chat conveniently named shill chat.
Again, at the time,
That you totally
at the time
didn't-
it was called Fort Braggies.
Well, at the time it was, but it eventually did change.
I changed it.
Well, yeah,
to shill chat.
because Sears or whoever that
Oh, you changed it after?
he
Well,
changed.
okay, I
it-
thought you
he
changed
it
it
to
like-
something offensive.
because
and rude.
Sears changed the name to something like annoying, so then I changed it to something else,
Mhm.
Oh,
and then I left.
gross.
Yeah. And then and then I actually Platt added us all back because I wanted to go in and point and
Yeah,
laugh
and
at,
was
at
like,
him.
put me back there.
And then he was like, oh yeah, look, you trying to cover. What did he say? He was talking about like covering and whatever. And then he started like saying, I'm not Sears and like self-deprecating. And I was like, you're boring. Like, self-deprecation. Yeah.
Well, he
I'm
kept
outta
doing
here.
the whole like Sears thing to other people, and they were making fun of him for that. And he tried to like deflect away from that, and that didn't work either.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Probably of the people that are on the Bed Bath and Beyond that are just sad, pathetic losers. He's the biggest sad and pathetic loser because
I'm gonna
he got
find
bagged by
the-
Sears and Bed Bath and Beyond.
I don't even know if he has Bed Bath & Beyond, to tell you the truth. I think he just has
he probably
Sears.
does. Let's go.
No, but I think all of his shit was locked up in Sears, and then like he just leached on
Money
to
is
Bed
gone.
Bath and Beyond because
Money's long gone.
yeah,
Tony,
I
that's a good
think
point.
he didn't have a he doesn't have like a community to go like cope space in, so I think he just latched on to BBBY, but I don't think he actually has it.
I think I can answer that fairly easily, Tony. I think they're all part of the autism epidemic that has people shitting, unable
No,
to,
I
to
think
pay
it's like this.
taxes and constantly shitting their
I don't think
pants.
that's it.
I think it has everything to do with this. What was it that Folding Ideas said in his video, that this like sort of this irony armor that they have to wear, where everything has to be either literal or just literally a joke to deflect away from everything.
Well, they just want it to be true. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They want
Yeah,
it
they
to be
need
true.
it to be true, really.
So badly.
It's like the
Real quick, I'm
definition
gonna-
of
If
copium.
you want to share that screen, I'll show you how he started out the conversation with Alco. It's so funny. Can y'all see that? I'm sorry, I'm not even on the
Not
screen.
really.
Okay. one
Yeah, it's
second.
such a long screen cap that I think it messes with the.
Can I make this bigger? Where's the full
That's
screen?
probably good.
Can you can see it?
Yeah, that's
let me
good.
full screen it there, and that'll make it a little better.
Okay. So here is messaging Algo. Okay. He says, I'm an insider. Who's your boss? And they said I accidentally told.
So stupid.
Yeah,
As if
said
I wouldn't have known that information from the jump.
100%.
As if you
or
would
that,
talk like
as
that.
if you would. That's how you would approach him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, so then he
No one
says,
talks like that.
I accidentally told Vinegar, who's not even in the show. Like, we didn't even put Vinegar in it, which he's very upset about it. But
I know, right? Sorry about that.
he said, I accidentally told
Next
Vinegar there's a Rico. And that's like Rico is what Sears has been talking about since he got this. And he left for a few months. That was a minute ago, though. And then he says, my boss. And he said, Tony Dong is watching. He said, Tony knows.
Dong is his boss.
So he says, Tony knows. No. He said, Tony knows I'm at HRT now. So if you're an insider, you know already. Who is this? Cracks? And then Algo comes back. Wait, I think I'm skipping ahead here. Let me go back. Because it's going to flip over to our chat. He comes back in and tells us that it's you, or that he's saying it's you. And he says, I'll lean in. And I said, ask him where he works. He said, yeah, I'll say good show Saturday, then ghost while they search LinkedIn and dox someone from Hudson. I said, wait, say good show Sunday. And he goes, right. I said, see if he corrects. And he said, he says your name there. It ain't you. No chance, but fuck it. Okay. I said, I know, let's fuck with him. See if he can hang. He said, we should make a group chat and add him. Make it seem like it's the real deal. Then talk about our shill jobs. So then Ocelot's like, that would be great. Someone make one and name it something snarky like Fort Braggies.
Which is a
then
great
Dolphin.
name.
Yeah. Then Dolphin says, on it. Okay, here's where he says he's you. He said, who's this Cracks? And he says, Corax. He goes, cool. Good show Sunday night. Good to see you're back. And he says, what are they spinning up with these Form 4s now? And he's like, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. He's sending us the chat from that guy. And Brian said, perfect. I bet he's blowing up DMs because this is after we added him. He's like, I bet he's blowing up DMs. Hi guys, guess what? I cracked the code.
He for sure was.
He said, yeah, right. Good chat, keep it up. Make sure everyone's added. I saw him typing when he was first added, so he's definitely seen it, probably frantically messaging his fellow baggies. Yeah, I took screens of me saying to make it, timestamped to larch them later. And I'm like, Jen's typing. Fingers crossed she doesn't ask what the fuck is happening. Let's see. What was this next one? Where's the one plot where they're like, chill, you're gonna give it away. I think this is it. Let's see. Because I was getting too excited. They're like, chill. This is where we tell Jen what's happening. She's like, oh. I was like, yeah, Vajrana, read here first. Sorry, guys, I'm lost. And I was like, we're trolling a troll in that other chat. And she's like, oh, pretending to be paid chills. They think we are. They're like, yeah, just can't be too over the top. Just make it a normal combo. I'm like, it's me. Y'all talking to me. I'm too excited. Because I was going a little hard in the paint. And Brian's like, tone it down. We're going to give it away. But anyway, so this was like, I put our chat up too, like our actual, like where we planned all of this.
This
and they're
going
like,
with the dick nose face.
I'm not even going to say what that is. But so, and then finally, like the last thing, this was when we were talking about Charlotte and all of that stuff. And I was like, this life is so real. I'm dying writing this dumb shit. But they're like, look at them covering. They're like making a fake chat. They're doing like, that's our actual chat. Like nobody's.
That's
like,
our real
of where we're like planning it, right? Like that's our real chat. That's where we were talking about trolling you. But there are still people who are messaging me today that the gig is up and they've got us now.
They'll never stop. It's been going on forever.
Chat.
The whole reason why that started was because it's like a constant thing. It's like, oh,
They found the blue sheets.
Like, okay, well, sure, whatever you say.
Hi, Jen.
Hey, you were Jen. Glad to see you're here. You actually got to be a star of the show for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jen, because like Dolphin just basically mirrored not everybody, but he just like kind of went quickly through and was like add, and not everybody knew what was happening. Like,
Yeah,
they
I
just
had no
all of a
idea.
sudden like came up with, you know, in this group chat. And so like when I saw Jen typing, I was like, she doesn't know. And if she's like, what the fuck is this? It's gonna give it away. So there was some slight panic there for a bit, but we made it. But yes,
Well,
so they think I am recruiting people from X to be the shills. or
To do
be in
what even?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. So we have some
That's Vent Capital said he's been waiting with his hands behind his back since this broke, but nothing has happened. Because Sears then went, I didn't even pull up Sears' tweet, but he did get like, what was it, like 200,000 views?
Something like that.
Like 200 like a ton. And so I was like, I mean, you guys don't have to
it
wait
went
for-
through like basically every community except
That
for
was the
Pelly
part I
County.
thought was really funny. Drew was the only one that's like, guys,
Yes.
Yeah,
fucking for
Drew-
real.
Drew
Fucking
posted
Drew dipshit was the
Yeah.
was the voice of reason through all of this.
Yeah, Drew posted
Onslaught,
what did
how dare
he
you.
say? You're like actively being you're successfully, or they're trolling you and they're like doing it successfully or something like that. I even like took a screenshot of Drew's tweet and I was like, Drew gets it.
Yeah, shout out
Mhm.
to him for not falling for it. Like, I mean, it seems
We
too
can't hear you.
obvious, but
Noisy can't
Who,
hear
me?
you. No, Noisy. He's talking.
Oh. Corax, you're
Yeah, the mute is kind of on a
oh, there you
delay
are. You're
because
good.
Mhm.
Restream's screwing up. But I was saying it would be the only time Drew gets it, but we'll give it to him.
I mean, we were so excited when it finally broke. Like, and it was only, I think it was like 2 hours or so, or I don't know how long after I left the chat, but like when Sears finally posted it, because Sean, I'm sorry, Sunny, this went on for like over a week.
A week?
Yes.
I thought it was just a couple days. What?
This went on for like
it
a
was
week.
like a
and,
full-on week. Yeah.
Mhm. And like that's why like I hadn't checked it, and he changed it. He changed the name to that. But anyway, but I hadn't checked it in like a couple days. We actually like got bored with
What
it.
he wrote.
Yeah. So we actually like kind of got bored with the troll. And so when I went back in there and I saw that people had left, I was like, yeah, here we go.
He
But we were
thinks
so
really
excited when it
integrated.
finally like broke on Twitter.
Watch that.
It was so funny.
Oh.
But yeah, that's how it happened. And then he was like drip feeding out parts of the chat, and they were like, give us more, tell us, show us more, show the whole thing. And so I was like, here's the whole thing. you guys don't have to wait for Sears. It's cool.
It's cool. We deliver, unlike them.
We got it. So
Uh,
but that's it. That was, I mean, it's silly, but it was hilarious.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Sears is probably still out there saying that we're just running cover, damage control, RICO. Like I cannot tell you how many times he said RICO. It's so crazy. Look, I had
Does he mean civil or criminal?
Oh my God,
RICO?
Jen.
I cannot tell.
What?
Jen, Noisy, Ethan
Oh,
message
Yeah.
Jen.
Wait, what?
No.
Mm.
These messages, Jennifer, I almost forgot. These messages were so insane. Jen-
Oh, well, I know it because it's Ethan. Can we get them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jen,
Jen,
will you,
do you care if
will you
we share
message
them? Yeah.
or message them to me?
Please, I need
But
to
it's
see
so funny
these.
because like she has her own lawsuit of her own, right? And he just messages her like, because he basically looked at the top and found the only person who probably didn't have him blocked because she doesn't know who the hell he is.
Right.
And he started messaging her.
Because that's what he does. That's his MO. He tries to find a way to make contact, and then he goes berserko, schizo, insane.
Right. And he did.
Ethan
And
is
so we
insane.
started telling her what to say. And it gets like, it starts out pretty serious.
Wait, so
Well,
No,
So
she asked
Jen
him like,
trolled
"Are you
Ethan?
like?" She asked if he's like all these different people, like literally
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So I think it was Algo that was like, just respond with I object. And like it gets so funny because we start telling her what to say. And so she's like, he would ask her a question and she would respond with I object with like an exclamation point.
Every time he asks me a question, I just respond with random shit, and it pisses him off all the time because I refuse. He acts like you were in court, and he is able to demand questions from you like a prosecutor. It's like, dude,
no, Jen, send me.
You don't have any power over me. Fuck off.
Will you send me the screenshots of the messages?
Affidavit.
Yeah, not the screen name, because he did that in the in
so
DMs.
He did it from his alt account, the AM. So he forgot to log
account.
out of that and go back to his.
I don't think he forgot. But they got the chat, and so he was trying to figure out the chat. Yes, he did. That's how he ended it. So she started like.
He always says that.
Right. So she started saying like, who are you? And she was like, are you this person? Are you this person? Are you this person? Are you this person?
People.
So many people.
MMTLP people.
Yeah. And then she basically is like, all he's asking her is about the chat. Like he wants to know about the chat. And she basically was like, I'm not telling you anything. And like, I think the very last thing he said was like, well, we'll just have to depose you then. Like, and Jen, like at first, because she's very protective of herself, and like because the MMTLP people have been just brutal to her, and she's really protective, and so like at first she was seriously like, who is this, right? But then when we told her who it was, like, and how to talk to him, it got like super fucking funny, and then. But he wanted to know all the elements of this chat, and
of course he does, because that's his whole thing. Pretend like
because he believes it. He believes it.
Of course he does, because Ethan's retarded.
He believes it. He believes it.
See, Ethan is so bad that have you guys ever been to the AMC subreddit that SouthSync runs, the AMC zone?
I haven't, but I know about it, but I haven't been on it.
That is like the one bubble of AMC people that like get it. That get it,
right?
Like they're not part of the cult because they hate the current baggies, and they absolutely hate Ethan's Project Popcorn group. They think they're just as fucking stupid. They get it that they're not any better. That they're just they came close to understanding the truth, and then they backpedaled and just added Adam Aaron to the conspiracy network.
Okay, do you want to see this? Like the questions are so there. It's more unhinged than I'm even remembering.
Go ahead and screen share it.
She's sending. Hold on, I'm gonna let her finish sending the screenshots.
Wow,
I actually forgot how crazy it is. Yeah.
Oh, I remember. They are insane. And then she's like, "Are you this person? Are you that person?"
And this was a crazy
the
week.
Chilitary Industrial.
This whole week was like there was something in the water with the baggies because Nachi messaged Adam Arno this incredibly insane, like I don't even know how to explain it. It's literal insanity.
Well, I can tell you why they're going all sorts of insane. Let me pull something up that I think will give you a clear.
Is it going to be Adam Aaron's like MNPI?
Oh, we'll get to that. That is on the list of things.
She sent them all to me now. That's all of them, Jen? I think.
Why don't you get that queued up and ready, Platinum? Since I can't really screen share all that well on here, but
okay.
I've got a pretty good reason why the baggies are all unhinged right now. It might be might have something to do with that.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
The longer this show goes, the more my case for putting lithium directly into the water supply is starting to actually make sense.
So is there a way that I can just pull up Jennifer's DM? Can I make this bigger? Probably not, huh?
Go to your messages and then click on her name.
I did. It
and
doesn't.
Then it should just be her.
Oh, right? It's like it's my whole list.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Well, here, maybe I can just
download them and share
here.
them.
Oh, squish it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna squish it.
Squish the screen.
Yeah, I did.
There you go.
So let me do where's. Oh god, now I just squished out my way to share the chat. 1 second. Okay. I'm gonna give me 1 second, Noisy. Let me squish it back. Hold on.
All right.
Before you open it up. Okay. One sec.
Just let me know.
Okay, go ahead. Oop. Not those.
So
I
I'll
hope my
full
kids aren't.
screen
I hope my
so you-
kids aren't watching. Okay, so here's where she
Boy.
starts. So he reaches out and she says, "Who is this?" And she says, "That's not relevant now. The DM thread is key." Is
my
that your
God.
account in the DM thread?
Oh, so
She
that's
said, "I don't
him.
know."
And then
Yeah.
yeah,
She
and
says,
then
"I don't know who you
Ethan-
are."
yeah. And then
Oh,
she
God, wait,
responds
hold
back, "I
on.
don't know who you are." Yeah.
What's showing on my screen right now? Is everything showing?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay. Because I have stuff open in the background, so I'm like, shit, is everything showing? Okay. Okay, yeah. So she says, "I don't know who you are," and he says, "What was the DM thread about?" And what is this message about? And then
Oh,
he
And
sends
that's
her
no
Sears'
wonder
Sears.
direct
post.
That's
messages.
Sears. Well, that's later, but yeah, that's later. So then he sends her Sears' post, and he says, "Do you have any comments?" She
So
goes, "A comment
stupid.
about what?" And he said, "What's the DM thread about? Is this Wes?" He goes, "Wes." He goes, "This is Andrew." And he goes, "Who are these people?" And she goes, "Is this Jack?" And then he says, "Sean, why?"
Of course he does, because he
Yes.
always thinks it's me every
Always.
fucking time.
So,
This guy is fucking-
Sean, and she said, "Sean who?" Okay, whatever.
Of
And-
course he does.
And she said, "I don't know you." And he said, "Kay, but we got this DM thread." And she goes, "What DM thread?" And he
Oh my
sends it
God.
to her. And he goes, "Your account is on the right." And she said, "I still don't know who you are." And he said, "Kay, we will have to depose you." Who is? And she goes, "Who is this Al?" And he goes, "Who?" She goes, "Who are you?"
She thought it was Al from Boston.
She goes, "Who are you?" And he said, "Why are you afraid to answer a simple, direct question? Who do you work for? With? What are the direct messages about?" And she said, "You're not my friend. I don't think I owe you any explanations. Intimidation doesn't work with me. I'm sorry you lost your AMC money." So this is where we told her who it was. Okay, so we told her who he was. And he says, "Is Sifu your handler?" And she said, "LOL, is he yours?" And he said, "Are you out to lunch? So what's going on in that DM thread?" She goes, "Are you out to dinner?" Because at this point, she knows who he
I
is.
love Jen so much. Oh
So
my
she just
god.
flips, and she was really trying to figure out who he was, but now she's flipped because now he told her who he is. So she goes, "Are you out to dinner?" And he just keeps sending her the chat. He said,
Damn chat.
and he said, "Looks like 8 of you." Which, by the way, can we talk about for like 1 second how nobody understands how group chat works? Like the 8 pictures at the top are just the first 8 people on the list
last-
of the group.
I think it's the last 8 people who have talked, right?
No, it's the first 8 people on the list of the group. Like when you go to a group chat and you say like people, it shows you a list. It's the first 8 people on that list. That's it. And it's not everyone.
Oh, that have
who's
been
in the-
added?
Yeah. And it's not everyone
Okay.
who's in the chat. It's just the first 8 people on the list.
Right.
Anyway, so she says, "I object." And he said, "Looks like 8 of you. What's going on in that thread?" And she said, "What looks like 8? What you had for
Wait,
dinner?"
so he took it from 8 to 8. I like it. Nice.
So he keeps
Nice
sending her the
scroll.
message again, and she goes, "I object, object, object." And he sends her Sears thread again, and then I think that's where it ends with. I think he says, "Okay, we'll just have to depose you," and then I think she blocked him, or he blocked her. I think.
Well, he
she
definitely blocked her.
Because he no
'Cause
longer
that's why
sends direct
she can't send
messages. You wouldn't
messages
get
to him
that
anymore.
unless yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. So he probably figured out she was fucking with him, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it was
This is
like she was
great.
talking to us while she was doing. We were dying because she was sending us the screenshots. Like it was when she started. She goes, "Are you up
What
to
you
dinner?"
really should have done is ask him
almost,
how
like,
much he
fell
likes
where I
rice.
stood.
That really gets him going.
How
Well,
much
we
you
didn't
like
have
what?
time. We didn't have time to feed her all of the lore. Oh no, she blocked him. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, in
Jen
addition-
blocked
Yeah.
him. Okay.
Yeah. So we
Good
didn't have time
choice.
to. We didn't have time to feed her all of
Yeah.
the Ethan lore, but she really didn't know who he was, and so we
Jen
told her
is
who
a
he
normal
was.
person. After a while, she just is done with crazy people. Whereas I'm like,
Mhm.
let's see how much I can poke crazy until crazy just blows up and goes away. And that's
Well,
the
and it was
best
so
way to
funny
have fun with
because
people. Just fuck
well,
with
she
him
just
until he
got
fucks off.
tired of like he would just reply with the same thing over and over again. It was the screenshot of the group chat and
Mhm.
Sears' message, and that's it. And
You
so
gotta
she
know
was-
how to really get at him, unfortunately. And like Amy
Yeah.
said, didn't give him all the lore.
Mm-mm.
What really got him to go away in AMC zone the last time he was bugging me is I I said why he had posted one of the affidavit ones, and I said people really shouldn't be taking advice from a career criminal out of New York, Ethan, and that really sent him packing. Especially when in another chat I dropped this. I mean, he goes to court on the 30th on his 19 counts of criminal harassment in the state of New York for harassing an assistant attorney general of the Queens County. So,
well, I think it's pretty funny that like he literally had to go through all of the pictures just to find someone to DM because everyone else had it blocked.
yeah,
I don't think I
everyone
have
knows what he's about.
Were you in the? I don't even remember if you were in the top 8, but regardless.
Oh, I don't think I was. Oh no, maybe I was. I don't know.
It was
I
super
had,
funny.
Like the AMC, like Batman guy. Like,
But I think that was her first, like, yeah, there you go. What? Asking me to submit my old AMC shares?
Always something
Oh
to share.
my
I didn't even know that part. I didn't even know that part. Yeah. So anyway,
Oh, goodness.
so much like it kicked up such a fucking hornet's nest, and like, it was a really good week.
Okay. So before we go to our serious topics,
probably
I think
took
we
way
had
too long.
Well, we have 2 more meme stock stuff. I know we're front loading all the meme stock stuff. Usually we start with serious meme stock serious, but that was just too big to pass up. Point number 2, and maybe Platinum or Amy can show the screen caps for a minute. George was having a spurgus fit when the FOIA stuff came out or something along those lines. So what was what,
do you want me to
I
pull
didn't
up
even
his
see what the
thing?
FOIA stuff was about. I just don't keep track of those Looney Tunes anymore.
it was about, honestly, not much. It was just the like the SEC talking back and forth with the like Congress people who had signed the letters, and they pretty much said like, okay, this is the announcement that's going to come out, and it was the announcement of the investigation and of the charges. Basically.
Well, okay, so the in the link that he dropped, right? It was like the letter that they all signed, and it was Ralph Norman's letter asking for, what was he asking for? I don't even remember what he was asking for. He wanted like to know information about it, and then it's emails between. I had to pull it up to tell you their names. Oh, okay, Platinum's there. Here. So in his tweet, and he talks about these names in these tweets, right? So he does a whole bunch of like leading shit in these tweets, right? Like, I guess his questions and leading them to think or believe that this means that it's some sort of collusion. They literally asked Ralph Norman's office to investigate this. And so they're talking about, they're trying to spin it and say that the SEC was colluding with Congress for this, biggest criminal cover up in the world.
That just keeps adding new people without being actually exposed for anything.
Right. And then so like in these emails, like one of the SEC guys were like, we should meet for coffee, like virtual coffee, like, because he was trying to, there you go. So it goes on and on, but it's basically just leading them
took
down
a bunch
a
of
path.
cherry-picked quotes, and then did those like dramatic, like you would see in a
Well, he
news
released all
article
56 pages, and you can read them for yourself. And that all they really do is it's the SEC. Like, so
how many
it's
coffees were
Ralph
briefing for this
Norman.
guy? What the
It's
fuck
Ralph
is
Norman's like staffer, and it's really just like the SEC letting her know that they're pressing the charges against the CEOs. So the one that they're all stuck on is like they let her know, like the morning that they issued the release of the charges, like out to the public, and they were like, this morning we released this, and she said something like, this is very welcome news. Thank you very much. Because don't forget, they're all coordinated in Twitter spaces, calling these people's office, like hundreds of them, nonstop, calling this congressperson's office, right? Like their whole goal, and they will say it themselves, is to harass them into a resolution. And that's what they were doing. And so I think that they were actually trying to get answers. The answer that they got was that the SEC is charging the CEOs.
Oh, sorry.
So they don't like that answer. So now they're
Why?
because that's not what they want to hear. What they want to
That doesn't get
hear,
them any money.
Yeah.
and neither would, even if it was the way that they're saying that it wouldn't get them any money either.
Yeah.
But in their head, it will. So they didn't get the answer that they wanted, and then they turned tail on Ralph Norman, this staffer, and now this
Yeah,
what this
they
FOIA
doxed her, didn't they, or something like that? You said.
Well, they posted her picture, and they like there's I put plenty of tweets on there of them like basically saying that she is the reason that like she stole their money. The same thing that Michael tried to do to Doug's daughter. Remember that space where he said that she is responsible? She stole their money. Like these people are sick. Like and like you want these people to help you, and they did the same thing to anyone who has helped them and not given them the answer that they want. They flip and try to publicly humiliate them and try to destroy them in the public. And it's really, really messed up. And there's like this whole campaign that's happening with this military person and this other guy who holds spaces every day talking about how he's basically calling Congress people and saying, you don't sign on to this. Like, if you sign on to this, we will favorably talk about you. But if you don't, how's that going to make you look? And like, we're going to let everyone know that you did it. Like, it's basically like
Blackmail.
they're courting them for their support in whatever the causes that they think they have. And it's like the whole thing, this group particularly is the one that's screaming RICO the loudest while, colluding, extorting Congress. Like, are you kidding me? Are you serious, guys? Like, and I think that they are, but I don't know. It's all really nuts. And like, we just saw it happen with that the guy who had Ralph Norman on his show when Ralph Norman was.
Yeah, they're going back after him again, aren't they? Trying to get on his show.
So Brda sends out a tweet that says something like, I've been talking to lawyers about this, like subtle threat, right? About defamation. And so then all of a sudden, wanting to avoid a lawsuit, we check back in, and now we're gonna have this on the show again after what they did. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I don't know if you can pull up Brda's tweet, Platt, but it says something like, I've been talking to lawyer or attorneys, whatever.
Talking to Mark Bazile again because that first one worked out so well.
No, it's not like. No, I don't think it is Mark, but it's basically just like a subtle threat of a lawsuit. And now this guy's like, oh, I mean, yeah, you guys just let us know who you want to have on. It wasn't subtle at all.
Yeah,
right. And it's just like, it's the same thing. It's crazy. Like, and they're just getting away with it. Like
now.
Ralph and Darcy, like, they legitimately tried to help these people.
Yeah.
They were staying on top of the
SEC.
They were trying to get the answers. Like, they were pushing for an answer by the deadline. There you go. I've been speaking to attorneys about this. It still pisses me off that Dan Ball didn't retract. I can't barely say it. Like he said he would.
What?
Norman deserves to be held to account. Might as well throw in Ball and OAN. We will see what the experts say. Maybe I should sue for the
OAN is in like the whole news network.
OAN. We will see what the experts say. Maybe I should sue for the $170 million that Norman said Palikaris and I ran off with. Darcy should be subpoenaed in the process as well as anyone she might have been working with.
I hate to
would be an interesting deposition. But okay, look.
I hate to break
what I will say
there, John, but you can't be sued. You can't sue for defamation on stuff that's true.
Right. Well, here's what I will say. Norman got the numbers wrong. He did. He said something like they personally took $170 million, which is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
But Brda did raise $140 million through offerings that they knew that they orchestrated. I mean, they have the papers, the communications that say we have 2 days to take advantage of the squeeze. He was selling shares at $8.50 a share.
Yeah.
So was he personally benefiting? I think just in terms of like the bonus, the like $1.5 million bonus. I don't even remember everything. Platt, you might remember, but
Share options on the preferred and what
so
he
that
sold.
he was incorrect about that. But I think he had also just found out about it. So, you know, if he needs to retract anything, it's that he got the number wrong. And not
Yeah,
wrong.
it was 137.5 million.
137.5 million, right, raised in an ATM offering. So he may have had that part confused or didn't understand exactly, but it's not defamation.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I mean, it's
the whole thing's gross. And so here he is. He's like threatening. So then Dan Ball engages again because here comes the threat of a lawsuit for defamation. But we're the ones committing RICO.
Yeah.
Got
Well,
it.
that's what happens when you got cults. One last baggy related thing.
I'll be back.
Because A, this was being taken wildly out of context. And,
oh my god, yeah.
and also, the results are interesting in my opinion. Can you guys see
Yeah,
that now?
shocking. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So this is the response to the motion to dismiss from Ryan Cohen trying to dismiss the short swing stuff. The part that gets wildly taken out of context is there in paragraph 1, where you know how, like, when you're doing legal documents, you try and use shorthand so you're not constantly using the whole DK butterfly thing. So the one the judge picked was new BBBY, and oh my goodness, of course, that means no, it means nothing. Shut up. Desperately grasping at straws. So they give us the whole background. We're aware of that. Where are we here? That's procedural history. Legal standard. We're aware of the motion to dismiss. All well-pled facts are treated as if they're true. We know about 16B. So discussion. Plaintiff alleges that Cohen defendants' profits are subject to recapture under Section 16B, which is our short swing rule. There were two methods that they did: beneficial ownership, and then there was they basically got co-opted by Cohen having people on the board that they basically were. He was in effect a director that was subject to the short swing rules. First, Cohen defendants contend that the plaintiff has failed to state a 16B claim based on beneficial ownership because it's not shown that Cohen defendants had an actual constructive knowledge that they beneficially owned 10%. Rather, that Cohen defendants claim that they appropriately calculated their beneficial ownership percentage as 9.8 using the share count reported by BBBY as of November 27th, 21. Which is the most recent share count disclosed and available for public. As noted on footnote 12, beneficial ownership for the purposes of 16B liability is defined in Section 13. Any person, in determining the amount of outstanding securities of a class of equity securities, may rely upon information set forth in the issuer's most recent quarterly reports. And they basically go over the buyback. Plaintiff contends that Cohen defendants had ample reason to believe that they could no longer rely on the share count contained in the periodic reportings, asserting that Bed Bath's November 2nd, 2021 press release clearly placed Cohen defendants on notice that they were expected to repurchase $400 million in BBBY stock between November 21st and February 22nd. Although Cohen defendants argue that plaintiff seeks to impose constructive knowledge based solely on the announcement of its accelerated share repurchase program and heavily caveated expectations about when it might be completed, BBBY did far more than announce its share repurchase program. Indeed, kept the public and its investors apprised to the progress of the program. And okay, so because they were updating them on the progress, then Cohen should have updated, I guess is the argument. In response, Cohen defendants argue that mere knowledge of the intended expenditure on buyback was insufficient to be able for them to calculate the actual number of shares outstanding, which is fair.
Is this about APC? Like, or about like, because I saw someone talking about the freaking share count again. So I assume that this is where it's coming from. That
Probably.
FTW guy.
So, okay, here's the last part of it. So I'm not going over the whole thing.
Who are the Cohen defendants? Like, why is it plural?
That's just
Because
Ryan
Ryan
Cohen
Cohen
and
and
RC
Ryan Cohen
Ventures.
Enterprises.
Okay.
Accordingly, we declined to grant Cohen defendants' motion to dismiss the 16B claim under the beneficial ownership theory of liability at this stage of the litigation. Further, although Cohen defendants rely heavily on Reality Kofi and Ron to support their position that they were permitted to rely solely on periodic reporting calculating their beneficial ownership percentage, that case is inappropriate. The court in that proceeding granted summary judgment for the defendant after it determined that based on then available public information, the defendant had no way of knowing its 10% status at the time it acquired the status. Here we address only the Cohen defendant's motion to dismiss the amended complaint for failure to state a claim. Further, based on the SEC filings and plaintiff's allegations, there appears to have been ample publicly available information that would have indicated to the Cohen defendants that they had crossed the 10% threshold. So basically, because there was that the court sees it as they had ample information, then they should have known and should have changed it and should have updated and should have understand that they were above the 10% threshold. Cohen defendants as directors by deputization. This one was denied because it's basically going over how Cohen put people on the board, but he did not purchase share. I think here it is. We reject plaintiff's attempt to retroactively apply the Supreme Court's decision in Looper to undermine the Cohen defense reliance on what had been the rule of the law for more than 30 years. The events at issue in the action occurred in 2022, nearly 2 years before the Supreme Court issued its decision in Looper. It would have been unwarranted to hold that the Cohen defendants could not have relied on a rule of this vintage because less than 1 year ago, the Supreme Court raised a question about general principle has yet to be applied to challenge the rule. In sum, because plaintiff fails to point out any purchases that occurred after the March appointees joined the BBBY board on March 24th, 2022, the Cohen defendants could not have qualified as directors by deputization at the time of the relevant purchases. Any resulting profits from the match transactions are not subject to recapture under Section 16B theory of liability. So they got one theory of liability, but not the other. So that was interesting. I thought they were going to strike out on both of those because it seemed
for
pretty
sure.
stretchy.
Because you have to be an insider, like when you buy and also when you sell. And he definitely was not a 10% owner when he bought.
So that was really.
Was this whatever this release was? I think Sal posted something like it was like some communications between Cohen and Edelman, basically where he was saying like if he doesn't get in position that he's going to sell his shares. Did that come from here?
No.
No,
Not from this. No, this is
it's funny because Sal keeps posting
suing
he
him.
keeps posting like Cohen, selling all of his shares, and they still try to say that
He didn't sell.
not even that he didn't sell, that he wanted to own BBBY.
Right.
He didn't.
Totally.
Okay, one more. I completely forgot about this because I brought it up and then totally forgot about it. I keep saying like, oh, we're going to move on to the actual serious stuff and get away from the meme stock stuff, but I also forgot about this tweet. Supersize this. Hopefully makes it a little bit easier
So
to see.
he's had MNPI since 2017. Did you know that?
So
Big things coming.
So we have the whole FUD busting department thing here about his share ownership and that he hasn't sold a single share, and that
No, he hasn't bought any. Him
Since he
saying.
sold all of them in 2021.
Yeah,
And
since
then
the last
sold a
time he
single
sold
one.
shares, he hasn't sold any. Right. But he also hasn't bought
Since
any.
he sold all of them at like 40, $50 a share. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And then most importantly, for quite some time, I've been in possession of what
Since
is known as
2017,
material
guys.
non-public information. It's against the law to purchase when you have
Or
materially
sell.
non-public. Hey, look who's there.
Oh, look, it's black.
The last time you bought shares was in 2017. Oh,
Wait, she
my.
said, but
But
oh,
okay, sure. Must be that.
Must be that
MMTLP.
MMPI.
Like, okay, buddy, whatever you say. And when
It's only
he
bought
finally
shares.
announces that information, can't wait for him to buy shares. It'll be really great. Very
Oh,
exciting. for him.
here's
But I mean, he's awarded shares, right? Like it's part of his package. Like why would he
Right,
buy
but he
shares?
did buy shares. Oh, why would he? Great
He bought
question.
shares like
But
when he very first like came on, but like
2017.
yeah, why? Like if it's part of your
Why
comp
would he?
package, like why?
I don't know. Why not? Like, well, because why even put out a post like that saying that you have MMPI and that's why you're not?
Yeah,
buying
that
shares?
was silly. But I mean, you could have just said it's part of my comp package, right? Because he gets the RSUs and the PSUs. Like why does he need to buy it?
I responded to
You
this
get them.
post too.
What did he put?
Adam
so
Arno.
according to Adam Aaron, he
Oh,
had
no, that's Adam
MMPI
Arno.
for
Right, I responded to this one too.
2,272 days.
That's Adam. That's Adam Arno. That's
Yeah,
not
Adam
Adam. That's
Arno.
not Adam.
Yeah,
Arno.
scroll down.
So small I can't see it. What does it say? What'd you say?
I can't wait till he
Wait.
announces whatever MNPI he had so he can buy shares in 2030.
Bullish for 2030.
Like, guys, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There continues to be a debt problem with AMC. There continues to be lack of revenues. So, you know,
I would say-
law adjacent. We'll put it that way. Law adjacent.
That's to read.
So there was one thing to kick off our crazy list of things that's been real shady as we move from silliness into real news.
Oh dear. The
Oh,
world.
boy.
I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
Here we go.
boring. This is why we escape into fake chill.
Yeah,
chill
and
chats.
exactly fake shill chats, exactly.
Mhm. We don't have to deal with this.
So this one was we keep running into this data breaches, data hacks.
Yeah,
with
this is
DOGE
bad news.
employees thing.
This is really not good. Like I read this whole thing and it's just
Well, why don't you go over and give the highlights, because I didn't get to read the whole thing. I read some of it. Is there?
well, they're basically saying that DOGE went through things and also made it a point to delete any
Yeah, they were
trace
trying to
of what they
hide
were
that
looking at.
and disabling the things that showed who logged in and all that stuff.
Right. Like basically what a
As
hacker would
Elon
do.
is in the middle of a labor dispute with employees that are attempting to unionize, he decides to raid the NLRB data centers. So yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
Especially when, again, this is yeah, and the part that shortly after this happened, suddenly there were IP addresses from Russia that tried to gain access with newly
15
credentialed
minutes.
passwords.
I didn't even see this article. You guys are. This is all brand new information to me. Okay.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, 15 minutes after they created logins, the Russians were already trying to break in, and the only reason they weren't able to get in is because their IP said Russia, so it automatically locked them out. Otherwise, they had all of the correct credentials.
Yep. There was also, I want to see, it was down here at the bottom, I think, because then, where was it?
Just hire Pinkertons and shoot people like the good old days, man.
couldn't
If
find
you're
it.
going to try and union
What's a
bust,
Pinkerton?
like just the Pinkerton Detective Agency. There's a whole thing with West Virginia miners had a shootout with the Pinkertons because they tried to unionize. They had a real honest to God trench warfare thing for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that DOGE was really only supposed to be looking at financial stuff. Like, are you saying that they're creating logins to access?
Yeah, and
things they're not supposed to
this
be?
isn't the only instance where they have taken government documents off-site, just reams.
They're taking stuff off site.
Yeah, I mean that's what they did here. They downloaded like reams of data out of the Department of Labor and just
Well, I mean, Trump had all those documents in his bathroom, so are we really surprised?
what's
No.
what's
No.
really disturbing about this is if you get to the end of the article, I couldn't find it handily,
To
but
be fair,
they
Biden had all
started
of his
sending
documents in his Corvette.
death
So
threats to the whistleblower. Like
nobody's great.
drone shots of him walking his dog through the neighborhood. Like so this is not just serious on the fact that this information is being used by quasi to not exactly government entities taking private citizens' data from the government who have known backgrounds as being hackers and doing nefarious shit, and then when they get caught doing it, they start threatening the people who are calling them out.
that would not entitle you to a security clearance. Let's be honest.
Yeah, 100%. On the thumbnail, it keeps coming up again. I on the thumbnail I put Jerome Powell with let me see if I can pull the quote up here because I thought it was funny. Do I have it handy still? I should. It's in my bookmarks. Sorry. Again, on the road, so I don't have everything laid out like I usually do. Where is it? Oh yeah, here, this one.
My son actually texted me on Thursday. He goes, Trump wants to fire Powell. Do I sell all my stocks?
Yeah. Here, let me get the screen share.
And I said to him, I don't know. He said the same crap in 2019. I'm like, you could sell covered calls.
To follow up on,
If he does do it, which I don't think he can, then I would say sell all your bonds, but not necessarily your
All right, I'm going to roll with this. This is the last time we had this fight. Well, last time earlier this year. One sec.
I guess the other question is to follow up on Victoria's question. Do you believe the president has the power to fire or demote you, and has the Fed determined the legality of a president demoting at will any of the other governors with leadership positions?
Not permitted under the law.
Not what?
Not permitted under the law.
Thank you.
I love how direct Jerome Powell's like that.
No,
Yeah, a lot of
like
things
even
are.
the journalist was like, "Excuse me, what?" And he's like, "Not permitted under the law." Read my fucking lips.
Though the journalist was expecting like some long, complicated answer, and he's just like, "No."
he just doesn't get to do that. No. But like that continues to be the fight, and I don't like. There's been stuff that's been going on with the Trump administration where he has direct control of the executive, and like the Fed is technically the executive, but it's like out here, out of his reach, and so he's used to being able to just say it and it happens.
But they're accountable to
That with
Congress.
Jerome. So
Exactly.
The Fed is, they report to Congress.
yeah, and so he can't do that, but I think he's also signaling because what was it, Joe? You said his term is up in a year or so.
Yeah,
I
2020.
think it's a year.
26. And
Yeah.
he doesn't, I don't even think he wants to go any further than that.
So like that could be what's going on here. Is like if Trump can't do that, he's just going to keep saying it, and it'll be before the midterms, so he would still probably be able to rally enough Republicans to, if, like you said, Jerome may not want to be around, but.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, so he
He just
like,
wants
they
to
may
force
remove-
him to lower rates,
Yeah.
like-
which ain't gonna happen.
which is the same exact thing he did in 2019 and
Yeah.
2020. But it did
No,
happen.
Yeah,
think
but we
that's-
weren't in the same economical position then.
And I do think that there's
we're
a good
worse.
argument maybe for lowering rates, just not for the reasons that Donald Trump I think has, because correct me if I'm wrong, the reason he wants to lower rates I think has a lot to do with the national debt, more like trying to lower the interest rates, paying it back or whatever.
I think his main focus is a tax cut, and
Mhm.
he's got to find the money.
Yeah.
He's got to find the money to do a tax cut, and that's why he has DOGE in there. That's why like he's like everything is about finding money, because
But then he's doing tariffs.
he
and
wants a
that's,
tax cut.
like, that's a tax on like basically the poors, right? Like the rich people.
Well,
He doesn't want a
feel
tax
that
cut
tax.
for the poor.
Right.
Yeah, he wants like one of the first things that Biden did was he took out Trump tax cuts, and that's what he wants to get back, and at all means necessary. And I think he wants it done. He wants to do it before the midterms.
Yeah. Well, Trump cut corporate tax. So it's just businesses that are gonna.
I'm just saying that like so many people are saying that like it's the interest rates. It's the interest rate. He cares about the interest rate. I think he.
Well, that's what I was saying is like he wants
the
to
tax
cut
cut.
it to try and.
So the complicated part of it is, so they don't have 60 votes in the Senate. So in order to get it done under budget reconciliation, you have to be able to prove that it will be deficit neutral 10 years out from now. So they have to get those interest rates lowered to make it deficit neutral, because the
That would
deficit
reduce
neutrality,
the amount of the interest paid
exactly. It's a
Well,
roundabout
yeah,
way
and
of doing it, but he does have
and
to
it
do
totally ignores the
I don't
the
know that the interest. Like I know
economic
that
implications.
was it last year that I think it was at the end of last year when they like the U.S. paid like $1 trillion in interest on the U.S. debt. So there's that motivation as well. But for the U.S. to not be paying out so much in interest. But yeah, I think that the main focus is to reinstate the tax cuts.
Probably, yeah. Let me see here. So I had
promise
a
you, he's
joke.
not trying to find all of the money to cut us all a check.
Yeah.
Oh
No, definitely not. No.
Though I
Yeah.
have been seeing a lot
Notice
about
how
stimmies
DOGE
on
went
Twitter.
from saying it had billions of dollars that it was discounting us to
I thought it was supposed to be $2
trillions,
trillion.
and then it went to billions, and it's getting smaller.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be $2 trillion, but I think what was the last total?
no.
Like
and then it
150
went down
billion?
from there. What was it, 180 billion, and
I think
now
it's 150 maybe, but
it
was
like it just keeps getting
originally
smaller
$2
the more we talk
trillion.
about it.
Yeah, it was
It's
originally $2
150
trillion.
with like Hollywood accounting. Like
Well, it is Musk.
It's
I
Hollywood
don't.
accounting.
It's the accounting where you can make everything look smaller. Basically, it has to do with not paying people their royalties. So you make every film on paper technically a loss.
So let's see here. I had this. So I was talking with PPP Grifter about. He was saying, so his last tweet that I saw from him was, hey, so if I'm doing government, if I'm giving out government bribes and kickbacks, where do I put that on GAAP? And we were joking about that. And then I saw this tweet, which Nick Field was saying, Warner Brothers asked Trump's orbit how to improve their relationship. Trump's people pointed to the $40 million Bezos paid for a Melina doc and suggested giving
Melania.
Don Jr. a Discovery Hunting show and more pro-Trump voices on CNN.
And you know who's actually handling this? And I swear to God, the
Mel
point
Gibson?
man on this is Mel Gibson. Yes.
Well, yeah,
And
because
so-
who did he named? It was Mel. Who did he name as his like
Mel
Hollywood
Gibson
liaison?
and John Voight and Sly Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
I
says right there in the
so
article.
I watched Tulsa King, and like I love Sly Stone, so I won't say anything about him.
So I joked back to PPP Grifter and said, well, I guess we'll find out really soon, depending on where Warner Brothers decides to put it in their GAAP accounting. Oh, my goodness. I've got some Trump, not Trump things. I've got some other, back to Musk, some Musk things. I'm having to, like, it sucks so much having only one monitor and being on a laptop because I have to keep flipping between tabs. So, is a Cybertruck that you'll notice that with the Ford truck, it still has its kind of tailgated end, Whereas, like, let me see if we can get a little.
It should be a little.
So, like, you can still see the frame there, like the whole outer casing, the actual truck bed and everything got ripped out, but
What
you can
happened?
still see it has the shaft and the axle and all that. Whereas the Tesla back end
Yeah, what
got
happened?
completely severed in half and obliterated. I'm not sure what exactly caused that. Actually, let me scroll up on the tweet and see if we can find what caused the accident.
Can't even tell what's happening in this picture.
Well, it's because I can't. Let's see if I can enlarge it here. Does that help?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it looks like something
Is
plows
there like a
through.
video of what happened here?
This is the aftermath.
A little stronger than that.
Oh, that vehicle is the one that plowed through there. There we go.
Man, you could tell off this accident. These cyber trucks ain't too tough now. Where is the rest of the truck at?
Yeah, so that truck
my
that's in the
God.
background there, or is it Jeep, plowed through, and like it took out the. Don't get me wrong, it took out the Ford's like truck bed and everything, but like the frame and housing where the axles are and the actual like lower half still there. Whereas with the Cybertruck, the entire back end just absolutely clean obliterated off of it. Which,
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on where it hit, right? Like logistically.
Yikes!
Wow.
And so that's going to be our segue into talking a bit about Elon, because let me see if I have the actual queued up, because I don't. There were a bunch of articles I had saved, and if I was at home, I'd probably already have them. Or did I post them on? The first one was that apparently the where was it? The IRS guy, because apparently the guy who is appointed here it is, who is handpicked to be Trump's IRS chief by Elon, got the oust after complaints from the Treasury Department. Oh, this is something completely different. Okay, that's just the personal debt thing.
Had some interesting people pay off his personal debt. Who did he have pay off his personal debt?
The campaign finance. There's a loan to 130. Trump announced as long as his pick. The committee suddenly talking. Making political contributions. Okay, so this was a completely different article that I guess I'd completely forgotten about. But apparently he was picked by Musk, was what I had seen. Then let me see if I can find the article.
I've never even heard of that. Billy Long?
Yeah, I hadn't heard about him until he was announced. But apparently he'd been picked, and then the head of the Treasury Department blasted the pick, and he got removed. And then now apparently, who's the head of the Treasury?
Besant.
Yeah, Besant.
And Musk are in a fucking spat fight over it.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
'cause
messed with.
I saw
burned all his bridges.
I saw the Elon stop following Besant.
Mhm.
There's that like I don't know, corporate whatever. They basically just follow who these people follow and unfollow, and he unfollowed Besant. I think last night. Yeah.
See,
Or the night
Elon
before last.
is burning all of his bridges. He's burned them with Navarro. He's burned them with Besant. So he's losing more and more people by the day in the White House. Like, eventually Trump's just going to cut him because he's not useful to him anymore.
Well, he's going to have to eventually. I mean, they only have us like I don't even know what the
30 days. I think.
the timeline is, but
Or
before they have to make them like government employees because they're just like a special, not to say unit, like
a special
model
advisor.
Yeah. So they only before they have to like they only have a certain amount of time before they have to be like declared as government employees.
Yeah. I also like kind of along the same line of things. I want to kind of swing both ways on this. I noticed this thing pop up on X, and I don't know if you guys have noticed that ever since this whole trade war thing started, that on X there's been kind of a, how do I put it? Kind of grassrooting, kind of I
AstroTurfing?
don't want to call it like grassrooting or astroturfing, because it's not even trying to astroturf. It seems pretty blatant that there's, how shall we put it, CCP aligned or China aligned individuals making quasi, like some of it's trolling, like it's obviously making fun of the Trump administration. And then
Yeah.
some of it's mixing in like stuff like this that I find factually inaccurate, where they're talking about how the plaza, that the reason Trump wants to do Plaza Accord 2.0 and is doing all this tariffs and trying to do all this stuff is because the Plaza Accord is what destroyed the Japanese economy, and they're trying to destroy China too. And I'm like, I don't get that Trump doesn't like China, but let's get some historical fact in here. The Plaza Accord isn't what destroyed Japan's economy. In fact, like there were good, like part of the reason that the Plaza Accords happened was trade related, because American companies didn't like that because of the rapidly appreciating and growing in value U.S. dollar, was meaning that imports were more desirable than homegrown purchases, because you could use the much more valuable dollar to purchase goods cheaper overseas. But like,
And I mean, that's been going on since the 80s, right? I mean, like,
yeah, that was the
this didn't
situation.
just
And that was
happen.
part of the reason with the Plaza Accord wasn't just that, though. The other half.
I don't mean I don't mean the Plaza Accord. I just mean being able to make
import
it
cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other half from it is that you had, we haven't brought it up here a lot, but I've talked about it previously with other people, is Triffin's paradox, where if you got a higher U.S. dollar, that means that there is high demand for the U.S. dollar for international trade, because it's what everybody trades in. So if the dollar is high, that means that there is a lack of dollar liquidity, which means it's harder for international trade. So the other reason why agreements were made to make the dollar come down was to facilitate international trade. And so it's a gross simplification by someone obviously trying to make a political point, who obviously has an agenda. So that's just stuff you're gonna like. I'm totally fine with people even questioning us, because like you shouldn't just take for rote whatever's out there. And it seems like as this fight continues to, like we've talked about how because Musk runs X, there's a lot of DOGE related stuff. There's a lot of Trump supporting stuff that gets higher pushing. But I've also noticed that there's been a lot of, like, I don't know if it's that there's just a bunch of accounts and they're just flooding the space on X, but I've noticed on X there's a lot more of this sort of, I don't think there's really any good way to put it. I would call it flat out propaganda. I mean, some of it's funny.
There's been a hell of an uptick in bots, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Some of it's like funny. I don't.
Some of that, the videos of, like, I think I posted one of them, like all of them, like making Nikes, like in the factory.
Like that. Yeah, like Mimi stuff. Yeah,
they were saying all of those were like coming out of China.
Well, I don't know if they're coming out of China, but there's a lot of like more like Chinese supporting aligned. And like the one I just showed, where it was clearly like the person, if you go to the person's account, it says like love China, don't DM, blah 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 blah. So they obviously live in China. So they're not necessarily Chinese supporting, but they live there. It could be a nationalist fervor or whatever. Kind of like, there's Americans who support America, but there's definitely a certain viewpoint that is missing certain context intentionally, because there's an agenda there. And it seems like a lot of those accounts that are like that are Chinese supporting, are getting pushed. Don't know why, but
because they're the only ones buying ads. The ad revenue is pretty much dead.
And also Musk has a factory in China that he needs to keep nice and cushy. I bought all my rocks from China. They told me I can continue to buy.
She collects the
crystals.
crystals.
Oh, okay. I was just
Yeah,
like,
she's
you
serious.
get pet rocks from China? Why?
Yeah.
rocks.
No. Like her collectibles. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I do have one meme one that I thought was really funny on this note because it's just the impression that the guy does. It's really good. So 1 second here. I'm gonna pause it, and then I'm gonna. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but I thought it was pretty funny. And
I've been watching. You've been eating a lot of me, much more than me. This is not fair. This is not fair.
What are you talking about, dude? This is hot pot, like we share.
No. This is not hot pot. I'm the boss, right? You've taken a lot of advantage of me. This is a huge disaster, a total imbalance. I can't let it happen
All
anymore.
right. This is
I have to stop it.
all right. This is the last plate of our meat. I mean, I don't.
That's the last play, right?
Well, I'm pretty full, anyways. How about you take 6 slices and I take 4?
No. I take 9. You take 1. I'm the boss. I make the rule. Stop bargaining with me.
I don't have time for this. How about you take 7 and I take 3?
No. That's it. Lamar, go hijack.
What now?
Give me all the pepper. Give me all the pepper. Thank you. What about now?
What are you doing?
about now?
You know I can't handle spice.
If I don't get most of it, you get none of it.
Well, this is not even emotional damage.
I know you don't use
It's
spice,
actual
right?
damage.
I know.
And you can't handle spice either.
I don't eat spice, but you know what? I'd rather ruin the meal than letting you win. That's my philosophy, right?
All right.
You know what? You're done. We're finished.
Well, like,
no
none of
more
us
food
get
for
in.
you. Let's go. Lamar, my done. Check, please, check.
Where's Ryan?
Ryan Cohen.
yeah, no, I just liked it because I thought
Ryan
the
Marshall?
impression was really good. Yes,
That
it's
last
Ryan Cohen.
statement-
Ryan Cohen has a great Donald Trump impression.
That last statement kind of just really does just drive it home. I would rather us both lose than you win.
Oh, do you want to give that breaking news? I was just seeing that pop in the private chat. I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Kevin Malone protected his tweets.
Of course he did, because he's a complete clown. Like this was the guy that I said one bad thing about him and tagged him in it, and he blocked me. This guy is.
I wonder if he got
Oh,
a
yeah.
cease and desist.
When
from,
I corrected
defaming
him
computer share
when he
so
was
often.
talking about sold not yet purchased, I was like, "You're a financial advisor, and you know that on
Allegedly.
a balance sheet, assets offset liabilities. Like, how are you a financial advisor? How are you licensed?" And like, he blocked me.
Maybe
Like immediately, like that dude is so quick on the
NDA.
block. But yeah, so he
That
has
must
protected his tweets. Remember how much shit they gave Doug when he protected his tweets? Ooh, weird.
Yeah. So before we get to our, I think
Phil's in shambles.
How's anybody gonna know about the Bear Trap movie if he protects his tweets?
I don't think anyone really wants to know about the Bear Trap movie. Hey, yeah, NDA.
I know. How are we going to get updates on Fidelity being insolvent?
Yeah, the famous NDA.
DA. With who?
I was talking about you with
Fidelity.
this one, Joey. So this person was accusing Tesla of dodging car repairs by messing with the speedometer data in their Tesla car. I haven't seen any.
I would really watch this as
I don't
far
think this
as
is
how
true.
much of this is true.
Yeah.
Because if it is true, this is like hella illegal.
Yeah, you do a
So
lot
I
of
read
stuff
through
car
it.
related, Joey. Like maybe just give us a heads up as to how like super illegal this is, if true.
So the national, it's a very quick way to get in complaint with the National Highway Transportation Safety people. That speedometer determines your warranties. Now, when people get a vehicle warranty, a lot of them think, oh, well, I just have one warranty. No, every part in your vehicle is warranted some of them different than others. Like it might be a 3-year 36,000 mile on your like cosmetic stuff. It might be like a 7-year 70,000 mile on the car as a whole. So what they're basically saying is that they're manipulating the
It's definitely not 7
speedometer.
years. But go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just certain companies. It's different for every company.
I mean, how would they do that? I thought it's computer. Like
They're saying that they're
wasn't
using
that the line?
They're alleging that
they're using.
I mean, but the way that they used to like roll back odometers was like manually.
Yeah. They're
That's
saying
not-
that
you
they're
can't
not.
do that here.
They're saying they're not actually keeping track of the real mileage. That they're using an algorithm to try and guesstimate the mileage, and then at the same time denying
For what
war-
battery health? Like it doesn't have an engine.
For well, no, it's not just. It's all mechanical parts. It's not just your batteries. It's your transmission. It's all kinds of just random junk in your car that you don't think has a warranty. Every bit of that thing's warranted in some way or another, except maybe the tires. The tires are normally warranted by the tire.
Well, what I'm saying is,
manufacturer.
how are they saying that Tesla is?
So he
They're-
said
are
when
they
he goes in
manipulating?
for service, he noticed that his miles are higher than what he thought. But the thing is, like, he didn't even say what his miles were before versus afterwards. He just said that
makes it sound
he
like
thinks that it seems like it's more miles than he
he can't actually
thought that he was driving.
Like
Like,
they're
it
not
just
rolling
seems
it back then.
very.
Well, no, he's alleging that they're not properly
Manipulating.
logging them in the first place.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
That they're using some sort of algorithm to guesstimate and then denying the warranty repairs if you're even 1 mile over their guesstimation or over what it is based on a guesstimation. I think this sounds like a lot of bullshit because
It
I'm pretty
does.
sure, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the car has an odometer.
Right.
Yeah, that's like that on there. It sounded like that's why I want to bring Joey in, because like car stuff like that, he's usually. I mean, that's basically what some of the stuff you dealt with, and it sounded like it was like extraordinary claims. There was no lawsuit. This seems like something that if you had actual material proof of, you'd be taking them to court already, or you'd
Unless they're trying to form a class.
But like this is the only time I've ever heard of it, and you'd think if it was something that was regularly being done to avoid having to pay warranties, that they,
Like they're
like you
taking
said,
it
Joey,
up
there
so
would
they
be a
don't have to
class.
pay, or so that the warranties expire.
That's what they're
Is that what-
alleging, that they're moving the odometer because to like avoid payout on warranties, I think was the allegation basically in the article.
Oh, good lord!
Um,
But he doesn't. So just it's just a claim. He's not like
yeah,
I took
like,
it
that's
in
what
for
it sounded
service
like,
at this amount of
because
miles.
I
And it
haven't
came
No,
out with this
any
amount of that.
lawsuit or anything.
As far as I can see, it's a pretty baseless claim, and it's a
Right.
very salacious claim. Like this is a federal
Yeah.
crime if
Mhm.
what you're alleging is true.
Something that may be nice for those of us that take ad royalties. Oh, that's not what I want. I want this one right here. No, that is the right one. Or did I have that? I guess I don't have that article up, but I'll save that. I'll save the one I do have up for before we get to stupid tweets, stupid lawsuit of the week. Someone getting sanctioned. But Joey, I believe, what was it? Was it Google that basically had lost a verdict on a lawsuit recently about monopolizing internet ads with its AdSense program? I want to say I saw an article about it. Let me see if I can find it.
The antitrust case?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let me pull up the article because I saw this on Bloomberg. Yeah, that they illegally monopolized ads, and they're saying that, oh well, that's not our main source of revenue, and it still kind of is. Like they still make quite a bit of money on ads. Reuters
yesterday.
Reuters had something about it yesterday, that they must sell their publisher ad tools.
Really?
It's not that they're not ruling that they must, but they're now saying, yeah, we're now open to making you do this. That it is a reasonable option as a solution, which should scare the crap out of Google, but I think the whole thing will end up dropping at some point. So it's really not going to matter that much.
The Department of Justice found in there. Yeah, so it was kind of they were given it in part, it looks like here. So they got to say that the acquisitions allowed them to monopolize certain aspects, but not all aspects. All right. So the next thing I wanted to do is heading into our lawsuit backstretch. Yeah, right there, Joey.
Yeah, that would be me.
Oh, I don't know who it was. Sounded like something happened. We do have an update in the Coffeezilla lawsuit. That's going to back us out towards the back half here. So first we had an order. If you remember last time, Logan Paul and his lawyers were trying to get we're trying to get discovery against
the text messages, right?
Well, not
trying to get all the
anymore. I think they dropped that part, but they were trying to get discovery again. Well, yes, the text messages between Coffeezilla and the lawyers in the in the CryptoZoo case.
Yep.
They claimed privilege on certain of those. The court came back and said yes, that before the court was non-party Thomas Kerker, I believe. Kerker. I think I got that right. On the motion to compel. After hearing these and other pending motions, the court ordered counsel for defendants to produce for the court in-camera inspection and the unredacted documents that were subject of the motions, so that so that they could determine if there's work product privilege. Defendants provided with the court requested documents, and the court conducted an in-camera review. So for those of you that don't know, in-camera does not mean that the judge reviews the documents in front of the camera. In-camera means in private. So the judge gets the documents and then goes and takes them into chambers and reviews them, and then comes back with an order like this, determining, if they can be discovered or not. After review, the court sustains the privilege objection. Accordingly, non-party, we're just going to call him Lawyer Tom, because that's what everyone else does on the online, apparently. Lawyer Tom's motion to quash the subpoena and to produce documents and the motion, the protective order, is granted. So, sorry, Logan, you do not get those documents. The other big thing that came out is apparently the Coffeezilla's lawyers are looking to change venue. And we're going to get the return of our favorite thing from the Mullins case when we were following that. Redactions. So introduction in 2023, we don't get to know.
You're trying to get it out of the court so they can get better anti-slap or what?
No. So they're trying to move it to the same district that the CryptoZoo case is in.
Got it.
Their argument is the same similar issues are being handled in another court. So rather than causing conflicting rulings between two different courts potentially, move it to the other court where it's already being heard in with the same judge. So that way we get consistent rulings on things. It's their basic argument. We already know the background. Not that we're going to get much of it, it looks like.
Wow.
It's all been redacted. So they talk about the CryptoZoo lawsuit, which we've gone over in previous live streams that I'm going to have to get back up. So let's hear the defamation lawsuit. This is the juicy part. Ultimately, Paul their entire argument was like, hey, so he he didn't ask for third-party discovery in the CryptoZoo lawsuit because it would have been hard. So instead of doing that, he created this defamation lawsuit to get around the hurdles of obtaining permission to conduct third-party discovery in the Holland case by filing this, so he could get the discovery he wanted via Coffeezilla, which would be easier in a defamation case. Getting a little ahead there. Paul's using this loss. The workaround served other goals. For example, Paul was able to obtain Coffeezilla's communications with the government, and we don't get to know what in the government or who in the government. We just get to know it was the government. Paul is, which makes it sound like that, you know, there may have been at one point some legal trouble in there, or may not have been, or, you know, I know some people who said that the reason why he may have tried to do the package that he did to return funds to people who were affected by CryptoZoo was not only to like get rid of the civil lawsuit or settle the civil lawsuit, but also to deflect criminal charges, because sometimes the government will say, instead of bringing charges, if you do X, that's good enough for us. So the person that I had heard on this YouTube live stream and said that possibly could have been the thing, but I don't know how credible that is. But it does sound like, at least from here, that Coffeezilla was contacting someone in the government. It sure sounds like. Paul is also using the lawsuit to punish Coffeezilla, whom Paul perceives as an online nemesis, and make him a cautionary tale to other critics. Paul's own messages with his friends and associates explicitly confirm this motive. Paul, lawyering up, suing this motherfucker into the ground. Then everything will come out in court docs public. That's his friend, Paul again. So everyone will see what happened, for better or for worse. Friend, to let others know it's not worth coming at you. Friend, there's a price to pay. Paul, that's the idea. Paul,
This is mobster shit.
need to shut it down. Friend, public humiliation is always more effective. Paul, totally agree. Paul admitted he is suing Coffeezilla just to make his life difficult. Wow. Wonderful stuff to find in Discovery. Yikes. Paul also admitted he wanted to make sure Coffeezilla pays for his reporting about Paul. Zilla will pay one way or another. I'll make sure of it. Yikes. When Paul's friends tried to talk him off the ledge, stating, "Bro, you're a billionaire," implying Paul does not need to spend his time to try and punish Coffeezilla, Paul responded that he is a petty billionaire. Paul also acknowledged Coffeezilla would have a difficult time paying for any alleged damages. And then we get some redactions there, and then we get a new exhibit. I want people who wronged me to suffer while I continue getting wins on their
Jesus
break.
Christ. Oh, stop talking. It just gets worse.
So then
He
they
thinks
go in,
he's freaking like Michael Corleone or something.
so they go into the reasons why. Oh, argument and authorities. So they basically go into the first to file rule, since the first one on this whole CryptoZoo stuff was filed. Yeah, here we go. Was filed. It was the Holland case, and since they have similar things that they're going over, that this should be transferred to. It should be here at the bottom. Requested relief. Here we go. For the reasons, defendants respectfully request the court grant the motion and transfer the case to the Austin division, where the other case is, and that will be that there. So it looked. I was wondering how this case was going to go, because, you know, Logan Paul was starting to get certain amounts of discovery, but now this case seems like it's swung back in Coffeezilla's favor, especially if you've got messages like that in Discovery.
He's fucking cooked.
Not good.
and getting denied on going after the lawyer stuff due to privilege. We'll see, because I was surprised that it was that, I don't know if it was the way they styled it, it was really weird, because it sounded like they were trying to get summary judgment, but it was written like it was a motion to dismiss, and they were denied on it. So I don't know if that was a motion to dismiss denial, or if it was one of those situations like what we were talking about when we were talking about the Pulte lawsuit, where it's like, you can't get a summary judgment now. We're not done with discovery yet. We have to get to the end of discovery, and then you can get your summary judgment. So I guess we'll just keep watching on that one. I think we have one last open and brave.
Yeah, I hope Coffee, like, is he counter, silly?
No, not at this time.
He'll probably request slap at the end, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that just gets his, like, lawyer fees paid, but, like...
Well, he can't request slap. He's in federal court, Joey.
What circuit is he in? The 5th? He's in the 5th circuit,
He's in the
isn't he?
5th, yeah. And they did that on purpose. It's calculated. I think. In my opinion.
So, if you remember last time, hey, Joey, do you remember the Donahue George case?
I remember. I got trauma from reading
that.
He's the worst, bro.
Disbarred lawyer, Donahue George.
They really came with the... Oh, my goodness.
It really is like the Special Olympics of law. It's terrible.
But there was that, and then the other. So he appealed that. We do have. I haven't. And we have gotten to the step where there has been a response to his appeal. Let's see here. Who is it? Oh yeah, this was FINRA. I thought I grabbed the other one off of Pacer. What's this one? There was one by. No, I didn't want it open. Oh, shoot. Open with Brave. Get rid of you. Share this tab. Oh, brief by defendants. Ken Griffin, Citadel Enterprises, Americas, formerly Citadel Securities, and Robinhood joint motion. Corporate disclosure statement. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's why I got thrown off, because all the good stuff is down here. Oh yeah, this is the fun one. Statement regarding oral arguments. Oral arguments is not necessary or warranted because the facts and legal arguments in this appeal are adequately presented in the briefs and records, and because the appeal presents no unique or controversial issues of law or fact.
They're wanting to go purely on written positions?
Yeah, they just want it on the papers.
Oh, good luck with that. That's like
I bet they'll get it because it's such a dumb appeal. Remember, Joey, what we're dealing with here?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that means you have to read his writing.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the judge will be like, I don't actually want to hear this in court. Let's get rid of it. Introduction. The district court correctly dismissed pro se plaintiff appellee Donahue George's second amended complaint with prejudice. Despite having 3 opportunities to state his case, George failed repeatedly to plead any plausible facts or elements of any claim. As the district court correctly found in its order dismissing the case with prejudice, George's pleadings was no more than a statement of beliefs by George as to his general skepticism and distrust of the government and American financial institutions. That is a great way to describe a lot of these lawsuits.
It's a very polite way to describe them. I would describe them as schizophrenic ramblings.
Well, I mean, yes. That's basically what it is just like a hodgepodge of their conspiracy theories thrown on a court docket, and nobody has any time for it. In his second amended complaint, George claimed that defendants conspired to create a monopoly and manipulate the prices of GameStop and AMC stock in violation of antitrust laws of the Civil RICO Act, and that his civil rights were violated. So I don't think we need to rehash the Donnie George stuff completely to Rit. It is currently on appeal. We'll keep an eye on that. I have a feeling I already know what the ruling on that's going to be. Anyone else got a guess on that? Where they think that's going to go?
Well, he hasn't stated a claim.
Yeah. The last one I have here is our stupid lawsuit of the week, or maybe the month. I'm just kind of pulling this one out before we wrap.
It's going to be a new segment to go along.
It's not a new segment. Well, it might be a new segment. It may turn into a new segment. So this one was an interesting one. This is an order from the district court judge in the District of Mississippi, Oxford Division, William J. Ferris versus Amazon Services. The matter comes before the court on Order 28, directing plaintiff to show cause. The court, having reviewed the record and having heard from the plaintiffs, so you guys know what a show cause order is. You done goofed. Please tell us why we should not punish you for having done goofed. So in this case,
how bad's the goof?
Here's the big goof. Goof. It's
Oof.
kind of all one thing. This case involves the citation of false authority and the use of general artificial intelligence. On August 26, 2024,
I think I know what this is.
Plaintiff William Ferris sued his employer, Amazon,
I saw this.
in state
For
court,
what?
alleging misappropriation of intellectual property.
For what?
In his complaint, Mr. Ferris cited Eastman Kodak v. Digital Analog Design Corp. to support his intellectual property claim. This case does not exist.
Oh, this is the guy that quoted all the AI.
cases. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did see this.
Amazon removed this case to federal court and moved to dismiss. In its memorandum in support of the motion, Amazon pointed out that Mr. Ferris' citation was fictional. Mr. Ferris then responded to the motion by hallucinating 6 more fake cases.
Yep.
Like they pulled no punches when they were bringing. They're like, I mean, dude.
On March
hallucinating?
3rd, on March 3rd, 2025, the court found that Mr. Ferris had violated Rule 11 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and ordered him to show cause as to why his case should not be dismissed. The same day, three filings by Mr. Ferris arrived by mail, all containing fake or false misleading citations.
It's so
Just
stupid.
kept going. On April 8th, a show cause hearing was held during which Mr. Ferris informed the court that he had drafted the problematic filings using AI. The statement Mr. Ferris read to the court was also drafted by AI. It just keeps going.
This is almost. I mean, we've gotten a lot with AI courts in the last few weeks. You remember the guy that tried to have like an AI chatbot argue for him at an oral argument?
Oh dear!
Before a
find that
panel
one for
of
next
judges?
week, Joey.
Did you
Maybe
see
we will make this stupid
the one
lawsuit
judge
of the
who
week.
Did you see the one judge who went off on the guy who was using an AI lawyer, and he basically said his lawyer was appearing by Zoom, and it was it's some program that he programmed. And
I am appearing on behalf of pro se litigant.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
You can't do that.
Oh,
she was
paid.
He did that in front of a. He did that in front of a panel of judges.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, well, I only saw the one judge lose her mind, but she was pissed. She was like, "You can stand up and give your oral arguments right now, or you can get the hell out." She's like, "This is
alrighty.
Not gonna work." And there's only a matter of time.
Oh, AI has
tried it. Let's be honest. Especially when they're like, "Oh, ChatGPT can pass the bar exam and the MCATs and blah."
It doesn't matter. That's trials are a search for truth. Parties who cite false cases not only that happened.
Wasn't me this time.
That was me. Some people seek to believe that facts and truth no longer matter. That's not how we do things in court. If the third branch of government in the United States cannot hold course and track against the headwinds of foolishness and utter contempt for the truth daily poured into the body politique by oh my goodness, stop it. Strevers saluted by the Fourth Estate, then we are condemned as to depressing views, the lie made into the rule of world. Rule 11 applies to all parties, including pro se litigants, provided that when a paper is submitted to the court, a party certifies that to the best of the person's knowledge, formed after an inquiry reasonable under the circumstances, legal contentions are warranted by existing law. Litigants have a duty to conduct a reasonable inquiry into the facts or law before filing a lawsuit. Once a Rule 11 violation is the court is vested with considerable discretion in determining the appropriate sanctions to impose on a violating party. Let's see here. Court is initially inclined to dismiss Mr. Ferris's case due to numerous fake citations cited by him. However, an examination of relevant Fifth Circuit authorities indicates that the appellate courts are inclined towards less final sanctions in these regards. Oh, wait, they're going to let him keep going? There must be consequences.
Yeah.
That's what that chick said, like,
We're
flipped out on the
inclined.
guy. She was like, you can stand up and give your oral arguments, or we can be done. But like, she gave him the choice, and like, she was pissed. I thought she was going to be like, don't, but she didn't.
There must be consequences, though. We're inclined to apply the least severe sanctions in this premise. Mr. Ferris must pay the costs incurred by defendants attributable to responding to Mr. Ferris's fabricated citations, keeping in mind defendants' duty to mitigate this being the least drastic sanction to deter comparable conduct by others similarly situated. I don't know. If I was a pro se litigant, I'd be like, judges, dismiss the case. Don't give me court fees. But I guess the case
Well, no, I'm saying
on and he just has a sanction.
Probably not. The number of billable hours that they probably had to put into, or that they put into
Those
finding out this was a fake case,
motions,
and actually writing that, it was probably next to nothing. So the fine is probably going to be next to nothing because I mean, all they had to do was go, "This is bullshit."
Well, I mean, they probably had to I guess looking up a case isn't that hard, but I mean, it still probably had to while they were doing the response and they were like, this shit doesn't exist, but I don't know. All
right. So who's ready for stupid tweets of the week?
Oh my God. Well, what am I going to do now that Kevin?
The classical source just ran dry.
Sad. Wait, am I allowed to do the White House?
No, we're going to deny use of the White House. As
ready.
Much as them talking about the
there with
lab
Kevin Malone
thing, creating the website.
Yeah, that was going to be
was really tempting. I'm going to say that that's not allowed.
The COVID lab leak, the autists shitting their pants. This has been a wild week.
This week has been crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sharing mine. I just shared it.
I sent mine to the group chat as well.
Oh wait, you haven't pulled it up. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
So did you do it on the okay, Joey did the group chat and then you did
I shared it here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll pull it up then while I'm figuring out the rest of this.
Okay, so my tweet is not, I mean, it's all kind of a combo. But so Joseph put this out. We're not going to read all this, guys. Don't worry about that. So Michael posted this nonsense. And one of the replies is, will my calls be refunded? Michael says, if the bonds are converted and the bond conversion is at $6.50, I think you should get the difference between your strike price and the call. But I don't know. So I said, I've relegated Michael to the abyss. But then I see some shit like this. BBBY, liquidated. Bonds, defaulted. Converted, delisted stock to cover the difference of expired call options. humanity's in serious trouble with people like Michael roaming around. But like, we're still saying this. Look at Doug's response. Just lunacy. He's certifiable. But we're still saying shit like this all this time later, and then thinking we're going to get refunded on expired calls.
You don't
This is
you
where we are.
lose. You lose. Good day, sir.
I mean, like I have had calls that have expired. Like never once have I been like, "Hey, E-Trade, could you
Give me my money back.
give me a refund on something?" Because I didn't win. And those companies didn't go bankrupt and delist and default on their bonds. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, like I really can't even like look at Michael's shit anymore because it's just so stupid. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
stop
why I
looking at
stopped
stuff.
looking at his
Yeah.
stuff too.
it's so but like
It's
every
just
once in a while,
embarrassing.
and Joseph Isada is like so good at like posting the really really dumb shit. So like,
Yeah, I rely on other people to.
I can live
follow it so that
vicariously through.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can live vicariously through Joseph. I don't have to go searching for it. I appreciate
Well, I'm about to be that way with the person that I have, but I'm not going to ruin that just yet. Did you want to go next, Platinum, or can I just do Joey?
I'm gonna abstain. I'm too tired. I
You're
can't
too
even.
tired? Okay, I'll do Joey
Yeah.
next.
it. Kevin protected his tweets.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm
we
in
have
shambles,
next-
literally.
In literal shambles.
That's in shambles.
So we have our next short squeeze conspiracy theory that's going to
Oh, yeah.
happen.
What do you
Okay.
mean? New? That's not new.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's
newish, I guess. But, like,
reused.
go ahead. And
Well,
you
it
can-
says April 17th, 2025.
No, I know, but they've been trying this, and like I have comments on it. But go ahead.
But Forbes is reporting on it like it's a serious thing. That's why it's stupid tweet of the
Mhm.
week. Basically, they're saying it should be illegal to short DJT. Like, legitimately, it should be illegal to short DJT.
Excuse me while I call up Fidelity to immediately short them with my middle finger akimbo.
Yeah, Fidelity probably won't let you. They probably won't have shares available, and they never do.
Well,
Probably
the
not.
craziest thing about it is that they're again trying with the naked short thing, but like, and the firm is in the UK, okay, and
There's your
you know,
first hint.
banks. Well, no, what I'm saying is that like banks in the UK can represent people all over the world, right? So the transaction, I think, originated in the UK. It was disclosed in Germany, which makes me think whoever was doing that through their bank is in Germany. So like, but you're saying that this was disclosed, right, in Germany, and it's a naked position. I have yet to see one naked short position be disclosed.
Yeah, isn't the point of naked short selling not to get caught?
Well, it's
I
just
mean,
you're not borrowing. shit.
like the question. I think the question that they're asking is like, why isn't it? I don't know if they're wondering why it's not disclosed in the U.S. Like, I don't even really understand what their question is. Like, the bank, there's a transaction, and this transaction was disclosed to wherever the person lives. Like, I don't know if the person that this bank is representing is in the UK or if they're in Germany, but I'm failing. They're failing to state a claim in my eyes, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have a serious media outlet reporting on this like it is serious news blows my mind. Like, there's nothing serious about any of this. Like, what is it, like half the world's money flows through London at some point or another?
Well, I mean, and there's
even
exchanges. Like, this is what I don't get. Is like there's exchanges all over the world.
Yeah.
And these transactions can happen in other countries. Like, what is the question here?
The question is anything to distract away from the poor performance of a company that has no revenue or negligible revenue and
Well, and I think like,
and isn't offering a
I mean,
product.
isn't it like their holdings in this, like Nunez, Trump, everyone, like they're huge, right? They're in the billions. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions, but we could save that for another time. Sorry.
So I'm going to
Late.
say that after this post, I'm officially like now that we were having to retire Mr. Malone because he's privated his stuff. Well, after this one, I'm retiring BAM Investor. This is the last time.
Oh my
Because
God.
he's gone full deep end. I don't know if you guys saw this tweet. I knew.
Oh, is that the one Sean Williams sent me? That's when I sent you.
Yes.
Mhm.
The exact same group of 6 satanic, power-hungry people who were
my
responsible for murdering citizens on 9/11 are the ones that took down AMC. I'm sorry, I can't. Took down AMC and thousands of other.
Took down AMC.
Thousands of other.
As far as I know, AMC is still a company. It's not
No, it is.
BBBY. Like,
None of us should rest until they're all prosecuted. Yes, that's right, guys.
executed.
BAM is now a 9/11 truther. Well done, sir.
Wow.
AMC is now like an official, like, it really is officially a conspiracy theory position to hold.
Well, and that's what, like, and we have said this for like a long time. Like, a lot of these meme stock groups are just like fringe. I think I want to say mostly far right. At least they pretend to be, because
100% far right.
but they don't even like hold true, like, because they're all about canceling people. Like, they're all about cancel culture. They're all about like all of the things that like far right people, you know,
Does he have a
stand
list?
against.
That's a great question.
So like they're kind of hypocrites, but yeah, I think it's just
Kinda
like
hypocrite.
yeah, I think it kind of just like flowed out of like, I mean, QAnon still exists, obviously, but I think there's a lot of like those people who just like
Oh yeah.
flew into the stock market, and QAnon's like, well, they're your problem now.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to end up like just writing a book-length essay about like how we got to this point, and I'm pretty sure it starts with like the John Birch Society in the 60s and then moves all the way to here. And I don't know like exactly how it evolved, but these people are they believe this shit. This isn't an act. Like, they legitimately believe this shit, and it's scary, and I'm scared for them.
I've said
I
it
don't know if you
before.
should be
Like,
scared
I'm worried
for-
about society's ability to make it much longer.
Scared they exist, maybe. Well, since I'm having to do this from the laptop and it's all weirdly wonky, I cannot take a vote from the YouTube side. So we're going to do this
Put
by
it in the chat. Who wins?
voice vote. Everyone, put your vote in the chat. Who won stupid tweet of the week? Some closing things before I give final thoughts to my guests. I don't know why that was being all goofy. What the heck's going on here? I disconnected screen share. Why is it still? Are you guys still in the like little box hell?
Yeah, I see BAM still.
I still
Mhm.
see Tucker Carlson's
I don't
overly
know
fat
because
face
I
on my
turned off
screen.
screen share. So it's been real glitchy tonight. So let me pull it back up. Okay, stop the screen share. Oh my God.
Rubbing my axe said, gotta go with Corax, but using BAM is definitely cheating.
That's what I was feeling.
Okay, so we'll put that.
Yeah, if Kevin Malone's out, Bam's definitely out.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. You're gone.
No, well,
There
just
we
left
go.
completely.
No.
And it's still
Ah,
there.
haha.
There we are.
I don't know what it is, but Restream's been a bit glitchy tonight.
Yeah. Don't know what it could be.
So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about that I saw when I was scrolling back up that I missed. So
Did Korax finally win one? I think you finally
I
won
won
one.
one a
Won.
couple while
Axe
back.
is the only one.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So apparently Denny's might be about to go bankrupt. We'll have to put it on our bankruptcy watch.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Eggs
follow.
over my hammy?
Yeah.
Denny's.
I don't think I've ever
and-
actually eaten at Denny's.
It's gonna be really disappointing because
It's mid.
Denny's has a bunch of chains in Japan, doesn't it too, and some other stuff.
I just like the names on their menu. Like,
The
I mean,
Grand
the only one I know is
Slam.
eggs over my hammy, but yeah.
I mean, I am a Waffle House supremacist. Like, nothing is going to beat Waffle
I've never eaten at a
House.
Waffle House
What?
either.
You-
That's
What?
crazy.
How?
Like it's called Waffle House?
Yes.
I haven't.
Oh, I've never.
It's like
hasn't either.
budget Denny's or budget IHOP. It's like
I mean, Denny's is budget Denny's.
I have eaten at IHOP.
So,
Like you can
Right.
get a plate, a triple order of hash browns covered in like literally everything for like $5.
What is rubbing my axe?
Denny's.
Their NVIDIA breakfast combo didn't save them. Denny's debuts new NVIDIA breakfast bites.
NVIDIA?
Oh, Christ. I'm not even going to open that. That's embarrassing.
Oh yeah. Here's okay. I found a way to purge because this is what I was originally going to put, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember where it was. This is was my original idea for stupid tweet of the week. This is also probably cheating, but
Why isn't he holding
What's
it
that?
with his teeth? He's holding it
Oh,
in his lips
Sal.
like he's never held a cigar in
his
life.
implication is that
He's holding it with
clearly
his
Roaring
finger.
Kitty is still holding his GME position and totally did not bail out on.
Hmm.
Cool story, bro.
After the hearing. Totally.
Nvidia breakfast bites. I can't click on it unfortunately because it's anywho. So I think that'll wrap it up for tonight. Final words from you, Platinum.
Well, happy Easter or happy 420. All the happies. Have a good weekend, everybody.
R.I.P. Kevin Malone.
Amy.
Yeah, happy Easter, everyone. It was a super fun week this week. Hope everyone loves the shill chat.
100%. Joey, anything to send us off with?
Yeah, to quote one of my favorite characters in a movie, Mason Verger, Gary Oldman, shout out. I have immunity from the Justice Department, and I have immunity from the risen Lord Jesus Christ, and nobody beats the Riz. Happy Easter, everyone.
All right. Have a happy Easter, you guys. We'll see you next week.